Hi everybody. If you're looking for answers about VDI, if you want to understand if it can fit in with your current company's desktop strategy, or perhaps you're just a little bit curious, you've come to the right place. See, I've been working in the virtualization world for 15 years. I'm currently the director of North American channels here at IGEL Technology, which is an operating system for endpoints connecting to a centralized workspace, making sure it's a productive, secure, and kind of easy to manage approach. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on the basics of VDI. I'll give you all the essentials you need to know just to understand it. So let's get going. With a personal computer on a desktop, everything is local, which is wonderful for you. It's lovely. It's great user experience. It's not great for IT though, unfortunately, as they have to manage each of these devices individually. And an operating system typically associated with this type of computing made that a little challenging. So it made sense that many years ago, IT realized that if they took those same ingredients, but centralized them on a bunch of servers in a data center, they can actually share the resource and lower the total cost. You know, it's a classic example of economies of scale. So those devices went from fat to thin as they're now sharing resource, making them cheaper and last longer. What's the difference between server-based computing and VDI? See, the difference is more about how resources are shared. Server-based computing, would be ideal if applications were written to conserve resources and share, but unfortunately they are not. So often a single application or an individual can take up way more than their fair share, and it can significantly impact how users can fit on a particular terminal server. And it ruins that whole theory of economies of scale and makes it very expensive. So as it is impossible to change how millions of people code, an adjustment was required. And that adjustment introduced another acronym, VDI. So instead of having a reservoir of resources that applications and users could just chip away at, VDI segments the available resource into chunks, and they would split it utilizing a hypervisor. And IT would treat that as a desktop, just virtual this time. You can assign applications to it, assign a profile to it, and the user would just connect to that virtual desktop from an endpoint. And that's it. That is the basics of server-based computing and VDI. However, the requirements and expectations for these two solutions have only been expanding in the recent years. So I can't stress enough that any virtual desktop scenario or strategy needs a robust endpoint strategy along with it. Because there's no point in implementing all of this if the device used to connect to the VDI environment is challenging to manage and foundationally insecure. So let's quickly summarize. Management and security, much better. Reducing that overhead and getting a better grasp on data and intellectual property is a clear benefit. Accessibility, because now you can access this desktop from anywhere. Or on the other hand, you can have one desktop that you have multiple users for. Again, a significant plus. Cost is debatable, because obviously the management cost is a lot lower, but there is still a considerable capital and intellectual overhead required initially. So, again, debatable. However, in my next video, I will take you through the basics of desktop as a service, and we can see if that might be the answer you're looking for. Thank you for stopping by, and make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you'll get alerts on any time a new video drops. Thank you very much.